Women's volleyball on a Friday night presented by Tachikara. Gill Coliseum on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis is the site for this showdown between the number 20 ranked UCLA Bruins and the home Oregon State Beavers. Welcome inside, everybody. Kevin Barnett alongside coaching legend Al Skates. And Al, Oregon State a couple of years ago in the Sweet 16. Now another uphill climb inside the Pac-12 conference. What's the formula to success for Oregon State?
Well, Coach Bernard has to get a blue chipper to commit in about the 10th grade. He's not going to get the same athletes as a Penn State, a UCLA, and SC, a Stanford. So he has to develop raw talent. He's got a bunch of young players. He'll have everybody back, but one senior next year.
On the UCLA side, it has been a new system and new players in prominent roles. One of them is a youngster, Tori Van Winden, freshman opposite.
She set personal best last week against both opponents in all categories. She's really peaking right now. She's a powerful hitter. She's 6'3". She really brings it. She's a terminator. She plays across the front court and often leads the team in attempts, kills, and hits.
On the other side, Mary Kate Marshall continues to be one of the top-level hitters in the conference.
She is that blue chipper that OSU has. She hits from everywhere. She never comes out of the match. She's tough. She had surgery in March, and she's back there getting 4 kills and hitting around 300. 4 kills a set.
Bruin is a word for brown bear. Have the animals return to rule the Pacific Northwest? Or is it still safe ground for smaller mammals? Bruins v. Beavers, next on Pac-12 Network.
Introducing the new 5W Prime
New York Life.
Pac-12 Women's Volleyball is presented by Tachikara. We've got the ball, you bring the game. And by State Farm, here to help life go right. A little bit of rain never bothered anybody in the Pac Northwest. Gill Coliseum, one of the nice places to play if you are a member of the Pac-12 Conference. As we get to our starting lineups presented by Tachikara for Mike Seeley. This has been an adjusted lineup he sends out onto the floor, but Jordan Anderson and Riley Bushler have been the dominant offensive forces. On the other side for Oregon State, Mark Barnard in his first season, although 12th with the program, he has a late change that may have some effect upon this match. Jesse Sayumalo gets the start at middle blocker for an injured Daniela Vargas. Sayumalo, though, last time out against UCLA last year in this October match, 8 blocks, most by any Beaver all season long. Can she recapture that magic?
Well, she hasn't played except in conference matches in only 4 sets. Daniela started 40 of 60.
Oregon State clad in their pink. This is the Damn Cancer match for this squad. Pretty neat undertaking. David Andrew Madden Foundation, also known as Pooh, gentleman whose trials with cancer started with a particular foundation. It provides financial grants for young adult cancer patients from 18 to 35. David passed away in 2008. But his legacy lives on. We are underway here. Corey Cheshire with the first serve and the first kill into the middle for UCLA. And UCLA uses their middle when they're not going left.
You know what? They have to use their middle to make their outside hitters effective. And that's a big thing Coach Seeley wants to see happen tonight.
Overpass opportunity for the Bruins in the gray. And out of bounds off the block. Nicely done by Riley Bushler. That is number 3 for the Bruins out of Del Mar, California, now in her junior year.
Riley has a new role. She just plays in the front court now and serves. And then she comes out for the setter.
Setters will come in for the outsides. You see the libero play a lot of middle back at times left back. That'll be Formico who's clad in pink as that ball goes wide. It's 3-0 UCLA. UCLA coming off of a victory in 5 over Oregon back on Spike Night on Wednesday, as there is Van Winden with the first serve on her side.
Now, Van Winden usually serves the first time around, and then Savi Simmel will come in the next 2 times and serve 4, and they'll run a 6-2.
Well, Van Winden getting the most out of her opportunity now. 4-0 Bruins. Outside stuff block. Beautifully done. Frager picking up the stuff there. The senior out of Rancho Santa Fe.
She's the best blocker on the Bruin team. 1.18 blocks per set.
Art Barnard in a new role this year as head coach. Formico perfectly positioned.
Okay, let's go, let's go.
Toner can't get a swing out of the back row for the Beavers. Set into the middle, nicely dug up.
Go, go. All right. Okay.
And that ball dug up to the front, nobody home. Finally a point for Oregon State, and it's Lanisha Reagan.
Now, Lanisha makes a good dig on this play, but to an area of the court that's vacated.
Reagan, the other half of the two-headed monster that is Oregon State offensively, along with Mary-Kate Marshall. That ball thrown up in the middle and covered. And second opportunity has that ball on the floor. That was Zanamuno with the kill. Player who set much of last year, now playing opposite.
Yeah, she's an undersized opposite, but she sees the block really well and makes good shots.
6-1 UCLA, set one. Nice left hand from Bushler. And inside the block goes Jordan Anderson. Anderson transferred from West Virginia for last season for the Bruins and was a critical part of their offense all season long.
That's right. She hits hard and harder. And when things aren't going well, she hits harder than that.
That's my kind of player. There's a good hard swing for Oregon State. That one goes off the block and down. That's Leela Toner, now a senior out of Istanbul.
Leela's always had a great arm. She came in as a freshman and hit low hard ones and got stuffed a lot. And now she's hitting some high flat.
Now Leela Toner may be the key for Oregon State as that one's cranked down the line by Jordan Anderson, showing you a little bit of range. The lone victory inside the Pac-12 for Oregon State, who are 1-5, came against Arizona State. It was at Phoenix. It was 22-11-18 in a sweep. Marshall had 12 kills, but Toner hit .533 with 10 kills. So keep an eye on her, number 2 in pink tonight.
Yeah, she's the only player on the court that'll serve a jump serve.
She throws that one to the corner, and a touch is called, so another kill for Toner. This one more unorthodox than the first. Mike Seeley, 7th season at the helm for the Bruins, a Bruin alum. Longtime setter set for Al Skates. That one is done nicely by Zanamuno.
Mike's getting old now. That was 1993.
I don't know how that happened. I don't know how he went by that fast.
He was the MVP. He set our team to a .420 hitting average, an NCAA record.
That ball set into the middle of Oregon State now with a little bit of heat. Corey Cheshire comes in hitting .248. One of the hard workers on the Oregon State side.
Corey's hitting in the middle for the first time. She was an outside hitter starting last year.
What are the biggest challenges to that if you're going to do it at this level?
Well, it's a shorten up your arm swing. The outside hitters start swinging from the hip. The middle attackers have to just cock their arm and wait for the setter to put the ball in front of it.
Speaking of middle attackers, that was Claire Felix, who is leading the Bruins in hitting percentage, .363, and you get a little look at that. Interesting thing, she's a low error hitter. With her performance, if it's not a kill, it's definitely in play. As you said, picks up another kill. This time it's the right side and Van Winden. But back to Felix for a second. 3 errors in the last 4 matches on 62 attempts.
That's incredible.
Something special. Bruins in control early in Corvallis.
Hey, it's been crazy with school being back, so we are constantly going on.
UCLA with the lead, 11-4. Kevin Barnett alongside Al Skates. You're looking at Mike Seeley, head coach for UCLA. Now he has a little bit of a tie to the other side and brand new assistant coach Ron Zwerver. There he is, out of Holland, 1996 gold medalist. And the last time these two men saw one another, it was the Belgian Championship in 1999. Mike Seeley's Nolico Mosaic defeating Ron Zwerver's Nak Rouselaar.
You know, we were just talking about dinking and hitting hard. I was at the assisting Fred Stern coaching it, and I never saw Ron Zwerver hit an off-speed shot or a dink shot. He just pounded the ball at all times.
Oh, man, watching him serve was something special. I was growing up and actually had an opportunity to play against Zwerver. I was on Mike's team that year. Fantastic season against one of the top flight players in the world at that time, and now here he finds himself back in the Pac-12.
Well, you know, he came in and was hitting balls at the girls, and he broke Samelo's finger, and he has to tone it down a little bit.
So he still hasn't hit a tip, is what you're saying?
No, he's still got a good arm. He just can't jump anymore.
That's true of a lot of us. Back to action here. UCLA has been in control from the very start. They got out to a 7-1 advantage as Claire Felix heads to the bench. Senior at 6'6". These Bruins can throw a little size at you in the middle.
Well, they're hitting 667. I mean, balls aren't coming back.
Another dig and another quick transition. Boy, it's all working. Taylor Formico, though, a huge part of what Riley Bushler just did there at the net.
That ball was right on top of the setter's head. That was a perfect dig.
Formico comes in averaging just under 5 digs a set. A senior out of Saratoga. Into the middle, and it's Formico again. Look at that, perfectly placed. Stretch out by Muno, who at the opposite plays middle back. Up on top, Bushler finishes that one.
Muno also plays on the beach team for Stein Metzger at UCLA. She's a heck of a digger. Look at this. Fantastic. I love the height she got on that dig.
That's been happening in Hermosa Beach for a long time with Zana Muno.
Right.
Already 9 digs for the Bruins.
The Bruins lead the Pac-12 in digs.
Deep corner, and that's good. Who do you want taking that ball into the deep corner?
Well, it has to be the middle back. Now, if the line digger can fist it, and you know anybody can touch it, go for it.
15-6, Oregon State. Trying to serve tough. That's been one difference. I asked Mark Barnard, I said, here's your opportunity to say how different you are than Terry Liskevich. Throw him under the bus. He said, no, I can't do it. So the one thing we're going to do is we're going to try and serve a little bit tougher on our side. Terry was a bit more conservative. I want to loosen it up a bit as we have an overcall going to go against Oregon State.
He said, go hard. Let's up the ante on serving. He'll take a few errors, but he's got to put the team in trouble he's playing.
Mark Barnard, from assistant to head, said he went from being the fun uncle to the mean dad.
And they were afraid of Zwerver in the beginning. Now they come in and see him instead of Bernard. When Terry was there, they used to come in and see Bernard. Yeah, I was
That's
had an
how it
open
works,
door
right?
too as head coach, but nobody ever walked in.
No, nobody wanted to talk to you, huh? UCLA continues to be in control. Kevin Barnett now skates, bringing this Pac-12 volleyball matchup on a Friday night. Bruins come in at 4-3, 13-4 overall. Kind of a split performance. They're not afraid to go 5 as Riley Bushler steps back to serve. Been going 5 their last 2 matches. Have the Bruins. They were up 2-0 on Arizona last weekend. Gave that one away. Went down 3-2 in a loss. And then against Oregon on Wednesday, they won in 5, winning 15-9 after being up 2-1.
And they really dug well during that match. And they set the long way and went to the middle. Something they hadn't been doing much of.
Formico runs down this opportunity, no swing. Over the smaller Muno, not yet. Cover by Reagan. Muno will set this one. Long longest rally of the match thus far is won by the Beavers.
Leela Toner came in hard on that inside set and really moved her feet well. Got the ball right at the top of her apex there.
Good to see the fans out for Damn Cancer Night. Oregon State 3-56 all time against UCLA. They have an uphill climb here in set number 1.
Heck of a save by the setter.
Outside Reagan. And there's a look at what Lanisha Reagan can really do when everything's perfect.
Yeah, when everything's perfect. She comes in on railroad tracks straight ahead. But if the set is there, she hits over the block. But if it's inside or outside, she has a little difficulty.
Reagan earlier this year, 25 kills against Utah State. She's certainly capable at the net.
Yeah, she has great hops. And she comes in very quickly. Sometimes she should wait longer and see where the set's going. And that'll be the next step for her in her progress.
Out of Sonoma, Washington, Lanisha Reagan in her redshirt sophomore year. Good serve. Oregon with a little bit of a run here. And that ball called out by the coaching staff of Oregon State. But the referees had it in. Point UCLA. (18-11). A look at Jordan Anderson out of Texas.
She comes back in. Now the setter's going in for Jordan Anderson. There, UCLA's running the 6-2 offense.
And there is Kylie Miller, the other setter, freshman. With so many teams in this conference, Coach, freshmen are playing critical roles. What does that say about the state of women's volleyball?
It says that there's a lot of specialization. So if you're a great backcourt player, the teams are running 6-2s and using setters across the back. And they have a chance to play right away. And if you're a good hitter and blocker and you're a middle, you get a chance to start right away.
It's the third different system that UCLA has run this year. They started out in a 5-1. They went to a traditional 6-2 with the opposites and setters switching in and out. And they just recently, a few matches ago, this will be the 4th time, in fact, they deployed this particular system with the setters coming in for the outsides. There's a combination block, a little help on the outside.
Well, Tony Kerr is hired as Seeley's assistant, and he broke into his office and put this offense on the whiteboard. Now, I don't know if he knows this, but Washington ran this offense the same way in 2014, and he converted Coach Seeley. They had about 2 practices, and they ran it.
Reagan deep corner, Formico.
Okay.
Formico down the line, scoops another one. One more time, yes. Outside, Anderson.
Everything's coming back that Oregon State hits.
Yeah, we said longest rally of the match just a couple of rallies ago. That has been bested, and this time the Bruins are victorious. Formico padding her stats throughout.
Over the block, tremendous dig by Formico.
And off of this rally, we will have a timeout for UCLA as we look at Taylor Formico.
She's 4th place in UCLA digging history, and 3rd in the Pac-12 in digs per set right now. She had 36 digs versus Arizona last week. She's up around 5 digs per set in conference and 5.34 overall, one of the best in the country.
Yeah, 35 last year against the Wildcats and 15-36 this year. So she would love to play the Wildcats every single week, although I'm sure she wouldn't be happy to have her team go 5 and lose.
Well, she's an amazing digger, that's for sure.
UCLA team last season was a 3rd-round loss to Texas. They lost in 4 after defeating Lipscomb and Michigan in rounds 1 and 2. They won the first and lost the next 3. As we look at our American Volleyball Coaches Association top 10, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota, although odds are that will be changing as Minnesota took Wisconsin out to the woodshed already this week.
Wow, the Big Ten is really strong this year. The Pac-10 has a lot of teams in the top 20, but the Pac-12, excuse me. And at the top, I don't think we're strong in the Pac-12, but the bottom is stronger. So everybody's getting closer.
Yeah, I've heard it put this way, that the top 3 from the Big Ten are better than the top 3 from the Pac-12. But if you go 1 to 9, the Pac-12 is better than the Big Ten.
I agree, totally.
UCLA getting the better of Oregon State right now. Reversing the score and now adding 1. So 22-12 in set number 1.
Leila Toner will bang it into the block. If the block isn't well formed, she gets a kill.
Sanamuno. Good serve. Formico again. This time, Formico will bump set. Remember, inside that 10-foot line, the libero cannot set with hands if you want to attack the ball. Right side annihilation. Van Winden.
He hits the ball hard. Van Winden crushes the ball. So she's more of a terminator than any of the other players on the Bruins side.
Mike Seeley saying we went to the 6-2 because it fit our personnel. Definitely Van Winden showing that. Reagan, good looking swing, but just wide.
Boy, that was a nice angle, and she just bit off too much of an angle on that one, ran out of court.
Set point number 1 for the Bruins. Sanamuno. Reagan, that one off the block. Maybe off the antenna and down. Set point number 2 upcoming for UCLA. All smiles, except for Mike Seeley. Still serious. This is only 1 set.
Yeah, he's looking for perfection on defense. That's what he's looking at.
Tough serve from Toner. She'll get the ball out of the back row and put it away.
You don't see many Ds in women's volleyball. That's one of the harder sets to hit. And she made a nice hit on that.
And you mentioned the arm and the heat of Toner. Hits a heavy ball. See if she can do it again. 3rd set point. Another good one. Formico handles it. And the left-handed tip finds the floor to finish set number 1.
Boy, Tori Van Winden had a long approach on that one.
UCLA trying to sweep the weekend series in the Pacific Northwest. They have set 1, 25-14.
You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles, home of
T-Tech Micro Leather found only on the 5W Prime.
Welcome back to Pac-12 Volleyball presented by Tachikara from Corvallis. It's UCLA and Oregon State. UCLA ranked 20th in the nation, looking very much like a team with that ranking in set number 1, 25-14. They're victorious. Riley Bushler with 4 kills, Jordan Anderson with 3, and 19 attempts for those 2 players, Coach Al Skates. And that has been the story for the Bruins. And Mike Seeley, in fact, he's tried to get away from the dominance of the left-hand side. Both outside hitters are over 600 attempts on the season. The next closest player is middle blocker Jenny Frager with just over 300. Double are the outside hitters, each one of them, of the next player.
Yeah, well, Frager's the only one who's not getting off in this game. The other players are all hitting for big numbers right now. Leila Toner's hitting 300 on the other side.
I want to welcome those of you that have been watching men's soccer as Washington beat Oregon State in double OT 2-1. This is women's volleyball. We don't have to worry about pouring rain inside Gill Coliseum. Set number 1 went the way of the UCLA Bruins handily. Set number 2 just about to get underway. Kevin Barnett alongside coaching legend Al Skates, who spent 50 years at the helm for the men of UCLA. Glad you could join us and stay with us here on a Friday. Everybody staying dry inside as it is damn cancer night. Hence the pink uniforms for the Beavers. Now UCLA, we were talking, Coach, about the offensive distribution for the women clad in gray, and it was the outside, the opposites that are not getting the ball. The outsides are. Sanamuno 176 attempts coming in. She had 172 digs. How often do you have an opposite with more digs than attempts?
Well, Mike Siegley wants his team to go to the middle and to set the long way. He doesn't really care who gets it, as long as the middle gets a lot of balls and the setter goes the long way and doesn't get two people up the block every time.
First point of the set goes to Oregon State. UCLA opened 7-1 in set number 1. For Mark Barnard, it was an uphill climb throughout that first set. He is the new head coach of Oregon State. And they again start with Leela Toner, who's hitting the jump serve hard. Toner with the dig in the right back. Right side, more hard attacking from the freshman Tori Van Winden.
I like the repeat on her. That was good. She's having some good swings out there tonight. And she had 2 career highs in attempts, kills, and hitting efficiency last weekend.
Van Winden, cousin of Micah Ma'a, who had a tremendous opening season with UCLA on the men's side last year.
That's right, they're first cousins.
Both players not afraid to hit the ball hard. That one down into the middle, pancaked up. You notice the one-on-one block there out of the pipe. Talk more about that in just a second. Outside, Bushler covered by Formico. Oh, and unable to get all the way back.
Okay,
that was Ryan Chandler.
McKinney Hollingsworth is running a 5-1. So she's dumping the ball because she hasn't been in the front court till now. So they've switched from a 6-2 to a 5-1. And this is the first time you've seen a setter dump in this match because they've all been in the back court before.
Oregon State, that is, running that 5-1. They ran it earlier this year, and so far it's working in set number 2. Corey Cheshire with the block that time.
This is why at the end of set 1 you saw Leela Toner hitting out of the back court because they were running a 5-1 then too.
Aggression from the service line is exactly what Mark Barnard wanted, and he's getting it from Lanisha Reagan. 4-1 now, Beavers.
Reagan is an excellent backcourt player. Excellent digger, passer, and server.
UCLA finally handles the ball and gets out with a middle attack. This is Riley Bushler, daughter of an NBA player in Judd Bushler, and a fantastic collegiate volleyball player in her mother, Linda, who is a setter for Arizona.
Well, Judd Bushler's grandfather, Don Bushler, was an All-American volleyball player also. Nice wipeout shot.
Right side, more back row attack from Oregon State. Managed swing up on top of the tape. Attempted dump once again. This time it's out of bounds. We're tied at 4.
McKinney Hollingsworth was an outside hitter through most of her volleyball career. She likes to attack the ball. The setter, number 5, we're looking at it.
Inside of every setter is a frustrated, could have been outside hitter. Net violation that time called on Hollingsworth off of that pass.
Well, she's still learning to set. She's got to get better next year too. But right now she blocks the middle. She likes to attack the ball. Every time they run a backslide, she winds up standing in the middle and blocking.
Stuff block. UCLA a presence at the net. 3 blocks already.
Mary Kate Marshall's up to a slow start right now. She's taking a swing and that good block gets her.
Marshall just 2 kills on 11 attempts. And as a 5-0 run for UCLA continues. Make it 6.
She looked like she was a little tentative on that swing, trying to decide whether to hit it or not. So far, Leela Toner's carrying the offensive load for OSU, number 2.
Backslide, Doug.
There's the long way.
Overhead, Muno.
So that was a great setting choice. The middle blocker was following the setter to the right side, and the back set isolated the hitter.
8-4, UCLA right back on top in set 2.
Every Saturday night.
You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles.
A 7-0 run as UCLA again in the lead, this time by 4 in set number 2. Kevin Barnett alongside Al Skates, and looking back at the last set.
Ryan Chandler makes a beautiful back set, running forward. The middle blocker's going with her and isolates the hitter one-on-one. That is what Coach Seeley's looking for from both setters.
Chandler, part of the Pepperdine Exodus in 2013. Was actually a teammate of Riley Bushler at the Wave Volleyball Club, the redshirt junior. Lots of times you see those pipelines from one club to a particular school with their good players. Pancakes being served on the UCLA side. Dump again. Pure aggression from Hollingsworth. Anything on top of the tape is
well, you know what? Her hitters aren't getting kills, so she's determined to get some kills, other than Lila Toner.
1-2.
Stops the 7-0 run. Formica, what a pass. And leads to that kill on the right side by Zana Muno.
Muno sees the block better than any of the UCLA Bruin hitters. She comes in and she can tool a block, she can hit the seam. It's not her turn to serve.
She's trying to get back there to serve, yeah.
Not serving yet.
Come on up and get another kill.
She plays all the way around. Mary Kate was way under that ball.
That one dug up on top of the tape. Muno trying to go hands out as it stopped.
Mary Kate turned it in. He's got her left palm pointed towards the center. Look at that. Very nice.
Looks similar to the final point against Oregon, in which Muno did get the kill.
That's
wiping
right.
it off.
She did.
That happened on Spike Night on Wednesday. Don't forget, Pac-12 Networks offers you that opportunity on Wednesday to see a marquee matchup in the sport of women's volleyball.
Well, they finally got Mary Kate free on a left inside, crossing behind the gap hitter, the quick hitter, and she got her kill. Because you're 4 now.
9-7 UCLA. Oregon State trying to keep touch. That's not how you do it. Although if you're going to be more aggressive, coach, you get more errors. How do you ride that line?
You know what? He needs to serve tough to beat these teams. UCLA's a more talented team. They're the best digging team, one of the best in the country, and they're just very solid. To answer your question, better.
Beautiful run by Reagan.
Absolutely.
Keeps it alive. Formica handles go right back to the middle, and this time it's not coming back. You mentioned the defensive prowess of UCLA. They are trying to limit their opponents and have done so to a 155 hitting percentage. That's number 2 in the entire conference.
Yeah, there's a huge differential between what they hit and what the opponents hit. And in conference, it's 28 points. They hit 229 in conference and hold their opponents at 201. Of course, the stats in conference are closer together, not as good as your total stats.
That ball missed out of bounds. UCLA extends to a 5-point lead here in set 2. This is a UCLA team that does not serve that tough. They are next to last in terms of aces in the conference.
They serve strategically, though. They'll put it into hitters' routes, and they'll place the ball well. Tony Kuro's calling the serving signals for UCLA.
Another long rally. That ball covered.
Formica's put 4 perfect digs on the setter's head during this rally.
Now she gets a chance to be the center. She sets over to the middle. That one rallied alive, the crowd into it. Outside, Anderson goes long. Maybe that's the spark that the Beavers need to again climb into set 2.
Wow, the Beavers really dug well, too, in that rally.
Mike Seeley saying one of the things he wanted from his team was engagement, increased engagement within matches, within individual points.
That means be in perfect position for 5 or 6 rallies in a row.
We've had some long rallies here. Keep an eye on UCLA, and if they're still making plays and in position, they won't need it that time as the ball is killed by Anderson on the right.
Yeah, Leela Toner had to stop herself because you can't cross over this extension of the center line anymore in women's volleyball, so the rallies are short.
All-American setter Mike Seeley in his playing days. So many setters go on to be head coaches. Another misconnection has UCLA right back out front, this time by 6.
Anisha Reagan just came in too fast and couldn't deal with that wide set. She has to wait and see where it's going.
Huge stuff, straight down. Bushler on the outside. Next to her, Claire Felix.
Bushler doesn't have great blocking stats, but lately she is terminating some kills very effectively.
15-8, UCLA leads.
Well, I was talking about Riley Bushler's grandfather, Don. Judd Bushler was a heck of a volleyball player in high school. He used to come to my volleyball camp in La Jolla, and we'd have 360 players there every summer. His sophomore and junior year, Judd Bushler was the best volleyball player in camp out of 360 kids. And I was trying to get him UCLA to play volleyball and basketball, but they got him at Arizona. And
he did okay for a while in the NBA. A couple of titles, as I recall.
Yeah.
Don't forget, coming up after set number 2, it will be Kate Harrison in studio. Have a volleyball update for you. Arizona State taking on Cal, and then the drive, a little sneak peek happening for you. Right now in Corvallis, it is Dan Cancer Night, and a good time to look back to an Oregon alumni event happening earlier this year. Alumni weekend, Stacy Hintz, Oregon player from 93 to 96, came out. A young woman who has a family, as well as being a cancer patient herself, had an opportunity to interact with the team. And nice picture here with Mary Kate Marshall of the Beavers, who during that match, Mary Kate actually passed Stacy for 10th on the all-time kill list in Oregon State program history. Kind of a neat moment for the player to be in the gym when her place on the record books is taken over by this player who continues her assault on the record books, currently 9th all-time. And in this match, should she have a good match, she could move to 8th if she gets more than 13 kills. But also a good opportunity for young players to put life in perspective, as important as Pac-12 volleyball may be.
yes, that was great of her to make the trip out here.
Little inside X, Reagan. With Formico with the overhead set.
Well, I've noticed Formico is now jump setting inside the 3-meter line overhand. If you take off from behind the 3-meter line, she is one of the finest setting liberos in the game right now.
Formico already with 13 digs in this match. Nice coverage there on the middle hitter. And working off the hands is Bushler.
Leela Toner made a nice dig off that.
Here's Bushler again. This time stopped. Leela Toner said she might have to be the key. She's come alive in the last few points.
Yeah, she's playing great. This is one of the better matches I've seen her play in. Her dad was a professional basketball player.
Not to be outdone on the other side. A nice run by Kayla Ellis. Here's Ellis again. And that ball finally sneaks through the block. Coach, the libero position has been around now for 16, 17 years. What's been the effect on the game?
Well, the passing has improved quite a bit, that's for sure. And the worst passers and the worst diggers now go out of the game. In Bushler's case, this is not correct because she's one of the best players on the UCLA team. But mainly they go in for the middle blockers, who were the worst diggers and played all the way around. You know, they used to be the tallest players in the court. They aren't anymore. The outside hitters are taller than the middle blockers right now. But in the old days, which goes back to 2000 when we introduced the libero.
The old days.
Collegiate volleyball. So we're seeing a lot more digs, a lot more rallies, and it makes the game more interesting. I think it was a really good rule. The Japanese were trying to put that rule in since 1970, by the way.
Well, you have to try and get rule changes that benefit the way you play volleyball. The Japanese known for their defense, particularly on the women's side. Incredible defensive effort from the Japanese side for years and years. One of my favorite pieces of video of all time is the Japanese head coach doing a coach-on-one with a player, hitting balls at her. She gets tired of it, stands up and goes to attack him. He continues hitting balls at her until she gets to him and grabs him.
Yeah, we saw that in the United States after the '64 Olympics. And when I invited the '64 Japanese women's Olympic team to Pauley Pavilion to play our women, along with the silver medalist men, we had 5,000 people because of that video, I think. 5,000 paying customers in Pauley Pavilion the first year it opened. And that's why J.D. Morgan went to bat and got volleyball in NCAA sport, because he saw 5,000 paying customers in the stands, thanks to the Japanese women mainly.
Something to behold, the Japanese women back in the day. Another block here as UCLA struggled
let me
early,
tell you,
but now it's taken over.
The Japanese women worked out 3 hours before they played the USA women, and the match was over in 45 minutes, and they demanded to be let into the men's gym and practice another couple hours. And I was suited up for the men's team. I had to run up to the men's gym.
My first ever national team trip was to Japan. We walk in off the bus, they're practicing. We played the match, beat them, then they held another practice.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, never seen anything like it. Ace serve for Oregon State.
That's a rare miss by Muno.
Lanisha Reagan again with the ace.
Look at this. Nice serve. That ball was moving, came in low and dropped lower.
That's 2 for Reagan.
And
now an overpass. That one's put away. Boy, just as soon as you think UCLA is going to run away with it in set 2, Oregon State kind of makes a couple of moves.
Okay, Lanisha Reagan served her short. She served her high. What's she coming in with this time? Oh, she changed. Cross court that time.
Ellis with the dig. Back row, Reagan covered. Boy, look at the mechanics on the outside. Right side, Bushler.
Boy, she's not making that long back set anymore, is she?
Making another chance here. Bushler inside, tries to get in transition. That ball goes to the middle. That's number 10, Jenny Frager.
Yeah, Ryan Chandler got a little predictable. She was running forward and kept setting to the short side. Oregon State University put up a solid block every time she did that.
Haley Lawless was pumped about it on the bench. That one skips off the hands and finally finds the floor. That's Caitlin Driscoll with the kill, who's into this match. Struggling with a shoulder injury also. The redshirt senior had shoulder surgery in addition to Mary Kate Marshall, but hasn't come back quite as quickly. Senior out of Colorado.
Wow, a lot of heat there from Muno. He really ripped that one. That's the broken finger that we were talking about that Coach Verver was hitting off the stands, and he pounded one a little too hard. But she's playing with it.
Sayamalo, the senior, College of Southern Idaho transfers. That ball is dug up by Reagan. Oregon State keeping it alive. Little inside X1, that's covered. Here's the long rally. Can UCLA stay disciplined? Thus far, yes. Finally, the middle finishes it off. Tough work for a middle in a rally that long.
Yeah, well, you know, Sam Rolo's dinking the ball for OSU. She's a front court setter. They're back in the 6-2 now. And that's why Caitlin Driscoll's in. She's in for McKenna Hollingsworth.
There's Mary Kate Marshall. Probably the best swing we've seen from her all match long.
Well, she's not going to slow down. She's gonna break out here. She's just too good a player to beat. She's been hitting about 0, but she's going to break out.
Mary Kate Marshall had cartilage growth removed from her hitting shoulder in the offseason. A condition normally affecting 60-plus-year-old men, not 20-year-old women. Mark Barnard saying of the surgery and what came out of her shoulder, said she's happy to show anybody. Anybody who comes into the gym gets a chance to look at what came out of her shoulder.
Well, you know what? She's had a lot of swings since she was 12 years old. She's been a top player since then.
Mark described it best. He said it looked like maggots.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary Kate. Thanks for sharing.
Well, they were actually bumps in her shoulder. That's what you're referring to. So when they came out, she has them. She's collected them. Oh, good kick.
And her left-handed stab picked up by Ellis as UCLA in transition.
On the line, middle.
Coach Bernard is yelling out directions to his team.
That one hit off the block and out of bounds. Another long rally goes to Oregon State. Okay, Coach.
Coach Bernard is saying, Dick, get to the back line, block. He's giving it out. He's doing a play-by-play. We should mic him up.
Timeout, UCLA. Coach, what do you think about that philosophy? Did you ever yell at players during a play? I don't recall you ever getting up off the bench.
Well, what I did, when I started coaching, you weren't allowed to get off the bench.
Okay.
But once I was allowed to get off the bench, yeah, I would call far fewer timeouts. Okay, listen to this. You can hear him fading. He's telling his players where to go and what to do. And I did that to my blockers.
Okay.
Because I would call out the sets. I remember playing one match in the NCAA finals against Cal State University in Northridge. And
1993.
That was 93. And I would tell our middle blocker which way to go. I'd say left, right, meaning his left, his right, because I had scouted the setter so well, I thought I knew where he was going to go each time. So I would call it out just before he released the ball.
You're watching volleyball right now, but tomorrow it's a football doubleheader on the Pac-12 Network. First at 1, Utah takes on Oregon State in Corvallis. Big weekend in Corvallis, followed by Arizona State at Colorado at 5. Coverage begins Saturday at 12 on Pac-12 Network with a pregame show, or watch on the Pac-12 Now app. Pac-12 Now app, a way you can catch it while you're on the road. And Mark Barnard, we caught a little bit of audio from him a moment ago, urging on his troops.
In the old days, you weren't allowed to talk to your players when I started coaching. That's why I developed hand signals for serving signals and stuff, because you weren't allowed to coach. It was like a tennis match. No touch on that one.
And another point for the Beavers.
Boy, that was really long.
Here comes Kyra Rogers, number 2, the sophomore. Outside hitter, middle blocker. She was a middle blocker in high school. She replaces Jordan Anderson.
Anderson goes out with 25 swings, hitting .080.
Oh, and what a time for a service error for Oregon State.
Well, there was a little break in the action. I guess that was enough. Sometimes a substitution like that has great effect.
That one ticks the tape and falls. UCLA with a service ace. That's their first of the match. Opportune moment for Zanamuno.
Well, this ball here is just unpredictable. The quick hitter was going back into a route. Couldn't get it.
Set point. Staved off by Leila Toner.
Leila Toner is carrying this team. She's still hitting above 235.
7 kills, 278 for Toner, but her team's still facing a second set point.
Watch eight! Let's go!
Right side tip coming in. Diving in was Formico. Cross court wide.
Van Winder, sharp angle, but out.
What if Oregon State hadn't missed that serve? They've been playing well inside of the rally. Formico, good pass, and this time, no miss from the outside.
One blocker out there. Leela was isolated on their best hitter.
Tori Van Winden ends set number 2 in favor of her Bruins, 25-21. So heading into the intermission, the Bruins carrying a 2-0 lead. Let's take this opportunity to be joined by Mark Barnard for Oregon State. And Coach, second set looks a little better from your team, some life here. What are you doing well when you're scoring points?
Well, you know, one of the things that we need to do a little better job of is we've got to stay in the rally. They dig the ball extremely well, and I think what we're doing well is we're resetting ourselves defensively and offensively when the ball's on the other side. We're doing a better job with that. You know, the first set we had opportunities, a lot of one-on-one situations, but our hitters just weren't getting the ball on the floor, and you got to be patient in those situations when the other side, you know, is playing such good defense.
Coach, I'm hearing a lot of directions during the rally. Are you instructing your diggers where to go or what the opponent's going to do? I'm picking this up. I think we should mic you. You could do the play-by-play for Kevin.
I don't think anyone would understand me if I did, but we're trying to just give them a little bit of information. We've talked about things generally. It's very hard to script a game, but we're reminding them of where we want them to be when there's certain attackers hitting the ball, and it'd be nice to stop reminding them, but I guess that's the situation we've got right now.
Coach, you'd be good. It'd be exotic. People would be interested. It'd be fun. Trade your jobs some other time. Good luck in set 3.
All right, thank you very much.
Oregon State down 2-0 to UCLA, who's going to take 10 minutes off and then look to come back and sweep Oregon State.
You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles, home of the UCLA.
Pac-12 women's volleyball is presented by Tachikara. We've got the ball, you bring the game. And by State Farm, here to help life go right. Gill Coliseum rocking tonight. It was 2014 when this team made a Sweet 16 appearance, eventually losing to conference rival Stanford. Tonight it's UCLA, and we caught up with Mike Seeley just a moment ago. Mike, when you and I talked earlier in the week, it was all about can your team stay in system throughout a long rally. How are they playing against that in this match so far?
I thought we've won. They had a couple miraculous digs, and we were able to stay patient and still win some of those long rallies. Those would have been huge momentum shifts. But if they had won a couple of those long rallies, that probably would have been worth 2 or 3 points.
Coach, are your setters going the long way enough for you tonight?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be long way as long as they've gotten their feet there and all 3 options are open. They're not telegraphing where they're going. I think the quality of ball is better, and I think we're more in system.
Yeah, I thought Chandler made one of the greatest sets in the game when she was running forward to the left sideline, isolated a hitter with a beautiful back set. Yeah,
that in-system red. If we can get to the point over the next 2 months, we can keep grooving that everybody's a threat at all times, we're going to be pretty good.
All right, Coach, good luck in set 3.
Right on, thank you.
A lot of talk about the offense, but defensively, UCLA has done the job in the first 2 sets.
Yeah, both teams are really digging well. Formico's probably the best digger on the court, but everybody's digging well tonight. Look at that beautiful pancake. Everybody's on the floor, slashing dives. The hard work is being punished tonight.
It's the UCLA Bruins, brought to you by the people at Bisquick. Take a look at the stats through 2 as Kayla Ellis looks on. UCLA Bruins with a solid advantage in most categories, but the service pressure's been there off and on for OSU.
Yeah, when OSU is serving well, they're scoring. Getting UCLA out of system where they know where the set's going, which, during the rallies, UCLA's digging so well that they're putting the ball right where they should. So it's been difficult for the Oregon State blockers.
Set 3 underway. Kevin Barnett alongside coaching legend Al Skates. Thanks for spending your Friday with us. And some women's volleyball presented by Tatcha Kara. It is the pink-clad Oregon State Beavers taking on the UCLA Bruins wearing their grays. And Riley Bushler, it's been black or white on the outside, mostly black kills in the category of Bushler.
Yeah, they're starting in this lineup where the Tori Winden goes all the way around the first rotation, plays 6 rotations, and then later she'll be substituted out in the backcourt.
Muno misses long on the right-hand side, and it's 2-1. McKenna Hollingsworth, the setter, will go back to serve. We saw Oregon State start in a 6-2 with 2 setters, switch back to a 5-1, then go back to a 6-2. For the moment, we know Hollingsworth will set across the back row.
Well, she starts in the right front for one rotation, no matter which systems they're going to use.
That ball goes in just before the back line. Tied at 2. Jessie Seumalo with the kill.
She doesn't get many sets. She's in there. She's a very good blocker, but she has a broken finger, and she doesn't get a lot of sets.
Seumalo replacing Daniela Vargas, who had played earlier this year, who came in on crutches.
Yeah, Vargas has played 2/3 of the sets they've played all year, so she's the main starter.
But as Al Skates mentioned, neither player in that position, that spot, is just not getting a lot of offensive opportunities. Contrast that with the Bruins, who are setting the middle when they are not setting the left. That one off the hands and out. A little livelier start out of the break for OSU.
Leela Toner is hitting the ball higher and flatter than I've ever seen her hit. She's getting a lot of kills off the block.
Toner's over 300, 8 kills to lead all attackers.
One-on-one, you're not going to stop the UCLA middles, and Oregon State's outside blockers just go to the pin. So it's always going to be one-on-one.
Well, the middles for UCLA come in at 6'5" and 6'6". Claire Felix being 6'6" and Frager at 6'5". This ball outside, dug by the Beavers. Reagan looking for the deep corner, it's good.
I was watching the UCLA middle blocker on that rally. She just went over and stood on the right sideline waiting for the set. So there is no middle of threat by OSU. They're not even transitioning.
Kayla Ellis back to serve.
Well, there's a one-on-one stoppage. That was a good block. The middle blocker made a great move on that play into the seam. And that's the termination.
That was Toner.
Yeah.
Finishing it off, so her hot play continues. That ball is passed to the left front.
Bruno is having problems. That's the second time she was aced.
How many times do you see a ball get passed to the left front and there isn't a soul home? That is the worst spot on the volleyball court to put a defensive effort.
Yeah. Well,
that one's rejected. Toner once again, and it's Oregon State up by 3.
Toner's having the best match of the year, I think, for her. She's hitting against 2 blockers all night. She hasn't been a great blocker, but she's elevating pretty well tonight.
Mark Barnard's team responding to whatever they heard in the locker room as Muno finally gets UCLA out of the rotation. Mark Barnard, he's made this transition before from assistant to head coach. He's been a head coach down in Australia for the Volleyroos for the women's side. 35 kills for UCLA, 27 for Oregon State. Advantage Bruins for the moment.
There's about 310 women's volleyball teams in the world, and he brought them up from 100 to 50 in 1 year.
Now, Coach, he said earlier, we talked about him saying he went from the kind uncle, the fun uncle, to the mean dad. Were you ever a fun uncle?
When I first started coaching, graduate students could play volleyball. There were no NCAA rules. I was one of the boys.
Okay,
basically,
you're the same age as those guys at that point.
Well, I was a few years old. Yeah. Well, actually, 2 of my setters were second and third year law students, so I was the same age. You're right. Yeah, I was one of the guys for a while. Yeah. And until I left my door open, and then at the end nobody would come in to talk to me. There was a pretty big generation gap at the end.
Then you knew you were on an island.
So the key was to hire young coaches or volunteer coaches, and then they'd come to talk to them, and then the coach would come and tell me everything I needed to know.
Mark Barnard saying he feels really confident in the hires that he made. Ron Zwerver and Laura DeBruler-Santos, former Illinois standout, on the sidelines for the first-year head.
Van Winder makes a nice move. She runs inside, gets that ball in front of her attacking shoulder, and hits the seam. For a freshman, I think she sees the block extremely well. The key is to wait and keep the ball in front of you, and you'll see the block eventually.
Van Winden in this match hitting over 400, 9 kills. She's coming off of back-to-back 16 and 19 kill performances in 5 sets, continuing that role here.
She was the pot.
Again on the right.
Yeah, she had 18 points last Friday and 21.5 points last Sunday. And she has more points than anybody tonight, probably, too.
Van Winden, 1 block, 5 digs, hitting 429 with 10 kills to lead all attackers on the UCLA side. A true 6-rotation athlete. Says one of her hobbies is boba shooting. I had to figure out what boba shooting is. First of all, you know what boba is, Coach?
Yeah.
It's tapioca balls that go in coffee and tea drinks.
Oh, yeah.
And then you put them in a straw and you shoot them across the room. I wasn't aware that was a thing.
We'll have to go out to an emporium tonight and load them up.
We'll hit up the coffee shop afterwards. Oregon State out of the 10-minute break. Up 10-8 on UCLA, but still facing a 2-0 deficit. Could this be another Arizona performance for UCLA, who 2 matches ago was up 2-0 on Arizona last Sunday, only to lose in 5. They were up 2-1 on Oregon on Wednesday, ended up winning in 5. Perhaps maximum volleyball entertainment on its way, courtesy of UCLA.
Yeah, well, they're getting better. That middle blocker is just closing the seam so well.
Couple of one-arm stabs, pick it up. Now a defensive play still alive for the Beavers. Off the high hands and gone. Oregon State playing their best volleyball.
That's Serena Bruin, number 24, is doing a job blocking the middle for Oregon State.
Bruin, a freshman, basketball as well as volleyball athlete. And maybe playing for the wrong side, Coach, given the last name. That one's into the net from Reagan out of the back row.
Wait a minute. Troy Tanner went to Pepperdine. So Serena Bruin went to Oregon State.
But Murphy Troy went to USC.
He got it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tight to the net, played up. Kept alive. Reagan with the set. Into the middle, just a bit late was Frager. See if they go back to her. They do. This time it's down the 10-foot line.
Boy, I like the way the middle attackers on the Bruins are always available. They're taking a short approach in transition, and they are up and ready to go.
Frager was a large part of the offense until they switched systems, and her numbers were sliding for a couple of matches. As that ball finds the floor on the UCLA side, until she had 29 attempts versus Oregon and hit 345 in Eugene. If you look at her numbers tonight, hitting 333, 15 attempts, 7 kills, 3 blocks. Again, good numbers for Jenny Frager.
Well, the key is they went to Jenny early, got her motivated, so she thinks if she's available, she's going to get the set. That'll keep her running all night.
Can that happen for middle blockers if they're not getting offensive opportunities? Can they disappear in a match?
Oh, look at Oregon State's. In a long rally, they're not even transitioning for the attack anymore. They're watching the game. On the side out, they're always there, but as you get into the rally, now Serena Bruin, she's up. She's up. She just, she's up and jumping. But she might have been the 4th middle blocker on the depth chart, and she's getting to play tonight because of Daniela Vargas' injury.
Leela Toner, the linchpin, perhaps, of an Oregon State rally. Reagan, inside Formico is there. Back row, and that one's not close. Oregon State up by 4. And I was going to ask, how much longer you wait, Coach, to call a timeout, but Mike Seeley already hit the button. The Beavers back in set 3.
You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles.
Women's volleyball on the Pac-12 network with the State Farm right combination through 2 sets. It was the blocking of UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA has about 6 blocks so far, and I think we've seen 4 of them. Muno can block. 5'10", underside, outside hitter, but she's technically good. She keeps her elbows in front of her body when she goes up. I know some of the players have their elbows way outside their body, so it's hard for them to penetrate in one move. They go up and then they go over, but she keeps her elbows right in front, just slides them over as soon as she reaches the top of the table.
Kevin Barnett alongside Al Skates enjoying the David Andrew Madden Foundation evening in honor of Pooh. Everyone's wearing pink and trying to damn cancer. And Oregon trying to damn UCLA here in set 3. They are leading down 2 sets to none. And up by 3 as Mary Kate Marshall misses that service. Kylie Miller heads back to serve. Player whose teams won 3 straight JOs. That's Junior Olympics. Used to having success on the junior side and having success with her team right now in college.
Is
celebration for UCLA there by Kyra Rogers.
Is it in or out?
But we're
it's
going to have a replay.
That means the linesman was blocked out. The referee doesn't want to make the call. That's why you call a replay.
An instant replay, only in use in a couple of Pac-12 schools. The entire Big 12 utilizing replay. It seems like a trend of something that is coming full-time eventually, but not this year.
That's too bad.
Reagan off Formico. That one into the tape. Formico will keep it going. Tip, can't fire happening for UCLA.
Boy, Leela was looking at how deep the Lopero was.
Here's a look at what created the replay.
Oh, good move. The in blocker stuck her right hand into the seam to close the hole that the hitter saw. Brilliant.
Another service error from Oregon State. So not making UCLA play are the Beavers. They still lead by 3. If you're UCLA, what are you doing right now to take this 3rd set and get out in 3?
You're digging, what they always do. You're getting more swings than your opponent.
Coach Skate says watch the defense. No opportunity there. That one off the hands and out of bounds. Oregon State closing in.
Leela Toner hitting .423 is having a career match against the Bruins.
Mark Barnard stoic in set 3. Here's Toner with the jump serve. Outside, solid offensive effort. Beautiful camera work there, giving an idea how the game is watched by coaches from the end line.
Oh yeah, definitely. That pass was on the money. The setter set the ball fast to the outside. The middle couldn't close.
Off the top of the hands and good. Another kill for Riley Bushler.
Riley hit that high flat one right into the block. Got the good bounce, good deflection.
Oregon State UCLA within 2 of Oregon State's lead. So it's timeout UCLA.
Okay, I'm going to go through Riley's mother's talent as a volleyball player. She set for Arizona and was a captain in '89. And her name, Lindsey Hans Bushler. And I went to school with her daddy, Owen Hahn. Lindsay, the mother, was CIF Player of the Year and California State Player of the Year for Miracosta. Her team went 30-0. Piper, her sister, Riley's aunt, set at Stanford and won NCAAs in '92. And Christy, the grandmother, is the one who won the Manhattan Open in 1970. Christy and Owen Hahn went to UCLA. There, I got it right.
All right, volleyball lineage matters in terms of rising to the highest levels quickly, as Riley Bushler has, a factor with UCLA since she was a freshman. And a factor in your week ought to be the one show that's now on multiple nights, Sports Report, covering the Conference of Champions like no other, bringing you the best of the best from the coast on the west. Sports Report only on Pac-12 Network, or watch it on the Pac-12 Now app anywhere you go. Right now you're watching women's volleyball, and the crowd here needs to get into it, maybe fire up for Oregon State, who's on a little bit of a slide but still leading in set number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Visiting Bruins.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the coach is into it. Coach Bernard is into it. Leela Toner, overhand reception, I love it.
Perfect pass. UCLA can't scramble. Oregon State at 18.
She handles that first serve like a young Kevin Barnett with her hands. Just throws it right to the setter.
I think she can pass underhand, too. That guy had no underhand passing skill at all.
The rule came in just as you showed up.
Same here.
I mean, there was no rule change. The referees just decided to go lenient. There was no rule change.
Another kill that time for number 5, Van Winden, who now has 12. Coach, I came out of junior college. We've seen some junior college contributors throughout the Pac-12. Utah, one of the teams that utilizes them perhaps more than any. Washington State also does it. I'll see them on Sunday. Did you recruit junior college players at all?
I sure did. I got cut from Santa Monica College and made the team at UCLA, but I didn't know how to play at Santa Monica College. My football coach says, come on out, because I'm coaching volleyball. He took a look at me and says, I didn't really mean it. You're out of here. So I had to go down to State Beach and learn how to play volleyball. But yeah, I got a bunch of kids, great kids out of Santa Monica College in the early days.
A little bit of a stall, middle play, and the block all over it for UCLA. Another stuff for Jenny Frager.
You played at Pierce College, and I knew the coach, but he never mentioned your name. So I didn't recruit you.
Ken Stanley.
Yeah, Ken Stanley, great basketball player at USC.
Got to mention in John Wooden's book, said if you needed a hard foul put on somebody, they put in Ken Stanley. Back to action here. UCLA all of a sudden in the lead. It's fallen apart for Oregon State. And Mark Barnard is going to bring him to the sidelines. What gets said in this huddle right now for the women in pink?
Well, what I'm doing if I'm coach, and what I always used to do, is I'd say, okay, this server's probably going to serve so-and-so, and then I'd move my best passer next to their weakest passer, because that would be their UCLA serving strategy. Then I'm going to say to the setter, I might take the setter separately, and I'd say, okay, if it's a good pass, you're running this play, and I want you to set this person. But I see the guy with the clipboard there. First, I'm asking, who's their weakest blocker?
That'd be Ron Swerver.
Yeah, Ron, who's in the front row for them, and who do you want to set over? Then I'm going to see if I can match up my best attacker against their worst blocker. So you have a couple of minutes. There's plenty of time to do all this stuff. But he's talking to the whole team now. It's more about motivation, it looks like, what he's doing.
6-1 run for UCLA, Riley Bushler and Zanamuno. And they find themselves in the lead. This was tied 2-2, but Oregon State has been in control since, much to the delight of the young fans inside Gill Coliseum. But now it's UCLA on the offensive as we look at the star comparison for this match. Taylor Formico, she continues to make a difference from that position. Leela Toner, we said she'd have to have a good match as she did against Arizona State, the lone Pac-12 win for Oregon State, and she has.
Yeah, Toner's hitting .423. And boy, she's going to be getting some sets now in crunch time. And remember, she's a 6 rotation player, so even when she goes into the backcourt, you can expect her to get some set. She hits D's, a set that's to the right sideline in the backcourt.
Well, she'll be there right now. Doesn't get it. Reagan gets it out of the back row. This time, Toner does get it. No back row hitters for the 6'2 UCLA offense, but it's another right side kill for number 5, Tori Van Winden, who continues her exceptional start to a career. 14 kills, hitting .444. 6 digs, 2 blocks. Just a freshman.
Yeah, she is a force coming off her 2 best matches of the year last weekend. Oh, good transition, but they were ready for that one.
Reagan out of bounds.
Well, she had a lot of court. The only thing she couldn't do was hit right down the middle.
Does Oregon State believe that they can come back?
She does make a lot of errors at this stage in her career.
Reagan hitting 166 on the year, hitting under 100 in this match. Deep corner, good.
Oh, beautiful shot. Mary-Kate Marshall loves that shot.
Uncharacteristically quiet match for Mary-Kate Marshall. 7 kills, under 100, in fact 0.59 on 34 attempts.
That's more attempts than anybody in the match so far. And it's typical for her.
Definitely used to the workload. Look at Formico. She may be wearing the color of the opposition, but she's making a difference for UCLA.
Yeah, the thing is, UCLA knows they're not going to run the quick attack. So 2 blockers just were there. They're just waiting for the left side hitter every time. So Oregon State is predictable until they start setting the middle on good digs and good passes.
22-19. Finally, right side kill. That was Hollingsworth. Perfect pass, Formico. And another kill. Bushler on the right-hand side.
Boy, their right side, Bruins' right side attack is very good. They have a pretty balanced attack, which is what Mike Seeley wants.
Van Winden with 14, Bushler with 8, Munoz 7, Frager 7, Anderson 5, Felix 4.
But if you look at
coach's point,
if you look at the set attempts, Anderson has 25, Bushler 26, Van Winden 27. So they don't know which outside hitter's going to get the ball.
A whole bunch of fire being issued by Kyra Rogers, who subbed in for Jordan Anderson.
And
match point.
Kyra's been up in transition all night.
Rogers for the match. That'll do it. UCLA, behind much of the 3rd set, comes back in fine fashion. 25-20. They take set 3 and the match.
They hit 364 that 3rd set. And, you know, 270 by Oregon State. That was their best hitting set of the night, too. We saw some high-quality volleyball here tonight with a lot of exceptional digs. Very impressed by the effort that these players put out tonight.
What do you think about the system, that 6-2, special 6-2 from UCLA?
I think it's a good system. I think it's a real good system. I think more women's volleyball teams are using 6-2 every year, and I can see why. Because of the specialists that come into the program can play as a freshman.
Van Winden with 14 kills, Formico with 22 digs, and Mike Seeley with his team sweep the week series. They played on Wednesday, defeated Oregon 3-2, and decided they didn't want to go 5 tonight. They win set number 3 in comeback fashion. And they win in 3 sets, 25-14, 25-21, and 25-20. For my entire Pac-12 Network crew and my partner, Al Skates, I'm Kevin Barnett. You've been watching Pac-12 Women's Volleyball presented by Tachikara. UCLA victorious.
We now join this program already in progress.